Speaking of resource companies, you wrote a very interesting column on Friday about Gina Rinehart.
Ah, yes, the ongoing saga of Gina Rinehart versus her children. It took a bit of
the latest news is?
It took a bit of a twist this week because Gina unexpectedly came into court and told them that she'd vested the trust days earlier. So she's basically... the trust now in contention has been disintegrated, but the kids don't know whether they should put their hand up and say, I'll have my bit now, because it could spark a capital gains tax event, in which case that could potentially bankrupt them. So everybody's sitting on tenterhooks in that case.
Well, it only bankrupts them if they can't sell their shares, right?
Well, they can't sell their shares
and the only buyer is Gina.
Is Gina, or each other. And because they don't have any money and that she's not buying, they can't sell their shares to pay down the tax, which would be crystallised when they get these shares. So they're in a pretty nasty situation, which they're trying to work through again through the court.
So if she wasn't a mother, this is just seems to me, if she wasn't a mother that was blooming with her children, she'd IPO Hancock Prospecting so that they'd all have liquidity. They could pay the tax, they could sell the shares they needed to, they'd all be as rich as anything. I mean, they'd all have more money than they know what to do with. And Wayne Swan wouldn't have any problems either, because you'd have all these tax receipts.
Exactly.
I mean, it's a win-win, isn't it?
Well,
they need to, and the investment bankers make all this money from IPOing Hancock Prospecting. How can anyone lose?
So I was thinking about this. It looks to me like Gina's putting these children into a corner and it's going to buy them out in the cheap. Is that possible?
Well, look, anything's entirely possible. It's a negotiation. It's a very dead-set negotiation.
What a horrible mother.
I didn't say that.
They've made pretty nasty accusations.
The children's have been pretty tough too, so I'm never quite sure who's right and wrong in those situations.
Well, but what I got out of your column was that it's all about tax, really.
Well, it does seem to be about tax, and it's a negotiation around exactly that. Could be a buyout, could be just about tax, but they've made some pretty serious allegations about her role as the trustee, and obviously they want her removed, and they're sticking to that for I'm not quite sure what outcome they'd like out of it. Perhaps to be bought out, probably to be bought out at a semi-reasonable price. She does hold a lot of the cards.